So, wir kommen zu Match Nummer 5. Wir kommen zu einem jungen Mann aus den Niederlanden. 23 Jahre ist er alt. Er hat sich in diesem Jahr, im Januar dieses Jahres 2017, die Tourcard für 2 Jahre sichern können und steht inzwischen auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 103. Die Rede ist von Jimi Hendriks. Captain Jimmy, er trifft auf einen Mann, der inzwischen 52 Jahre alt ist, inzwischen die Nummer 72 der Welt ist, der seine Topzeit so vor ein paar Jahren hatte, hat 8 Pro-Tour-Turniere in seiner Karriere gewinnen können. Ich bin gespannt, was er uns heute Nachmittag hier zeigen wird. Die Rede ist von Walshy Mark Walsh.
The first round of the German Darts Open continues here in Saarbrücken with, well, a veteran of the game, I think it's fair to say. Mark Walsh, one of the UK qualifiers, and he's up against Jimi Hendriks, 23-year-old from Netherlands, who came through as a European qualifier last night, beating Mike de Decker and Sven Groen, both by 6 legs to 5, so both close games, but it was Jimi Hendriks who won through. And Dan Dawson back in the commentary box alongside myself, Mike Lawrence, for this one. And always good to hear Special Brew and see Mark Walsh back on the stage, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, I was just getting a bit dewy-eyed and nostalgic for Colin Lloyd with Jimi Hendriks walk on.
Yes.
Also seen Colin Lloyd on the European tour because he's not playing competitive darts at the minute. Still on the exhibition circuit as a former world #1. Maybe he will make some glorious return one day. We'll see him on these big stages in front of big crowds on the Euro Tour. But for now, it's Walshy who's representing the veterans, 52 years old, as you said. 10 PDC titles to his name.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg Mark to throw first. Game on!
Always been considered a floor specialist, Mark Walsh. He prided himself on being one of the most consistent and deadly players in the floor events away from the TV cameras and the big stages. But it's not as if he didn't have success on the big stages, of course. Finalist at the UK Open, fully 12 years ago. 2011, 51. He made the semi-finals of the Grand Slam. They remain his best runs in the big televised tournaments. But 10 PDC titles to his name, and they don't give these away. However, it has been tough over the last few years for Walsh. He's not really been producing the results. He had to win back his tour card at the start of last year, did that at Q School. He's outside the top 64 in the world rankings as things stand, so at the end of the year he'd be losing it again if that doesn't improve.
134!
Yes, last year he reached his first quarter-final in over 2 years in a Players' Championship event in Barnsley. Did Walshy.
100.
And made the Players' Championship finals, the first major event since February 2014. But lost at the hands of Josh Payne in the opening round.
140.
Jimi Hendriks is less than half of Mark Walsh's age. He's only 23. A Dutchman who's got a very impressive youth record in the BDO and WDF system. 2011, he won the World Youth Cup, the World Youth Masters, and the Europe Youth Cup. Look at some of the people who've won those titles. Not a bad indication of what he could go on to do, but it's not as if he's been tearing up the development tour. In a semi-final on the development tour last year, he had a final the year before that. He's still playing development tour. He's only 23 years old.
And I did find that these two did meet in 2011. In a Players' Championship event in Holland in the early rounds. Walshy winning 6-4 back then, but that's a good 6 or 7 years ago.
Treble 20 for ball. Can he even see it? Moving way over to the right-hand side. This would be a ridiculous. Oof. Gave it a chance.
110. Mark, you require 170.
The biggest outshot of them all, and it won't happen now. So Hendriks will be back for an early break of throw here.
40. Jimmy, you require 25.
Well, for a breaker throw. 9 for double 8. That's the route.
$17.
Unable to
Mark,
take
you
it out,
require
Jimi Hendrix, but
130.
because of that pretty poor visit from Walshy last time, he may only get a dart at the bullseye, if that. Well, he should get at least that. It is the bull.
97.
Both of those
Jimmy, you
second and
require
third
8.
darts dropping significantly low. Seem to lack a little bit of power there.
So still a chance for Hendriks to break if he can.
Game shot on the first leg.
Didn't need to use that
Jimmy
first dart as a
Hendrix,
marker.
second leg, Jimmy to throw first.
Right in the middle of the bed,
Game
the second
on.
dart. So lead 1-0 here. And a fairly interesting throwing action. Jimi Hendrix, when he first starts with the opening
96.
dart, sort of
Brings it right over from the right-hand side, doesn't
yeah.
he? It's what a busy action he's got there. Simon Whitlock used to do that a lot, bring it over right into his eye line from the right-hand side, but it wasn't as bouncy
46.
as Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix' arms going up and down and all sorts of stuff. There we go. Seems like he's locking it into place. Little twist to the darts as he throws. A number of players do that. Walshy's got a much more relaxed throw. Mark Walsh, of course, came back successfully from dartitis. Not many players do that.
No, certainly not.
$82.
And the winner of this match will play another player who has come back from dartitis in the shape of Mensur Sulovic in tomorrow's second round.
Yeah, Mensur seeded number 3 here this weekend.
81.
Former winner on the European Tour, of course, Mensur Sulovic.
$96.
Well, decent enough from Jimi Hendrix, down to a 2-darter after 4 visits to the board, and Mark Walsh needing to find a couple of trebles to apply any sort of pressure. Needs one to get to any sort of finish.
43.
That's not the treble that he
Jimmy,
wanted.
you require
So
87.
Hendrix has got 2 visits to double his lead. Dutchman in charge of this one in the opening stages. Switches across to double 9.
78.
Pulled that badly, but he does have a bit of time, but 9 isn't the best finish on the board to leave. But Walsh yet to really get going
60.
here at
Jimmy, you
Saarbrücken this
require
afternoon.
9.
Yeah, well, 9 may not be the best finish, but it's better than 151. So, double 4.
Game shot on the second leg.
And for the second leg
Jimi
running,
Hendrix,
Jimi
third
Hendrix
leg, Mark to throw
pins
first.
double 9.
Game
It
on.
was 2-0.
You mentioned Mark Walsh over double the age of Jimi Hendrix. We've got a
140.
16-year-old in action this evening in the shape of Nico Bloom. And the last match of this afternoon features what I think is the oldest player on the stage this weekend, 57-year-old
100.
Bernard Royth.
Yeah. Bernard Royth, the chef. Both Burnt and Nico going through the host nation qualifiers
100.
last night. So the host nation qualifiers have provided the oldest and the youngest player on the European Tour this weekend.
96.
There was some concern about whether Nico Bloom would be allowed to play this evening, because it would be essentially past his bedtime in German law.
Yes, I think there's German employment laws, isn't there, about how late...
125.
I'm guessing how late 16-year-olds are allowed to work effectively, which I suppose is what this is.
Well, look, I mean, it may shock you to hear, I am no expert on German employment law, Mike. But I do remember, I do remember Max Hoff having a similar problem. But I think because this isn't technically on the telly, plus his mum and dad are here. Now Walshy. Now then, Walshy, this could get you going. Yeah, lovely
on the
stuff.
third leg. Mark Walsh,
136
Jimmy to throw
checkout.
first. Game on.
12 dart leg, and Mark Walsh, after a sleepy opening couple of legs, has got himself going.
Yeah, what a way to get back into it.
58.
136 KO. Let's see if he can build on that.
Spent a significant portion of time in the top 10 in the world rankings, did Mark Walsh. I know it's quite some time ago, but he was a real force in world darts.
85.
But if you're looking for the last time that he managed to win more than 2 consecutive games in a tournament, you've got to go back to
38.
August, when he qualified for the German Darts Championship in Hildesheim. Won 3 games there. Did make 3 Euro tours
41.
last year. Managed to win 1 game. That was against Thomas Younghans. Rolling back the years.
Fair to say, yeah, Mark Walsh needs to
99.
put together a little run somewhere. And could it be here in Saarbrücken this weekend?
60.
Another one?
One.
Yeah, Mark Walsh. Well, coming back into this strongly, his first 180. Leaves himself a 2-darter. Hendriks, well, that's 75 scores, so 182, and there we go.
100.
Sensible use of the bullseye there.
Market require 84.
Down for the 19s for double 12. Yep, double 12 it is.
72.
You're just pulling that low. Would have been a break back in a level game at 2 apiece. Hendriks has managed to leave himself a finish, and it's one he wouldn't need the bullseye for. That's not going to happen.
93.
So another chance for Walsh to
Market
get
requires
himself
12.
right back in this match. Double 6. Oh, can he do it with the 3rd dart? Yes, he
Game
can.
shown the full
All
flag.
square here.
Mark Walsh. 5th leg. Mark to throw first. Game on.
Jimi Hendriks, no stranger to big stages himself, despite only being 23 years old. He's played the Lakeside a couple of times. All right, he didn't get past the prelim round,
61.
the most recent one. Going back 4 years, beat Martin Adams in the first round. Quite the scalp, beating Martin Adams at Lakeside.
58.
Didn't go any further. But he does have his tour card, won that at Q School this year on points. Wasn't one of the outright qualifiers. Best run he's had since then is a last 16 place, and
60.
Barnsley failed to make it to the UK Open. You're looking at 750 quid was the cut-off point, so you're looking at winning 3 games in a day, maybe. Depends if you have to play a prelim round.
80.
But over the 6 tournaments, plenty of opportunities there to win the money that you need. Missed out on a place in Minehead.
Well, yeah, chatting to Paul Nicholson, who's qualified here, and we'll see him in action against Martin Schindler this evening, but travelled over with him yesterday, and we were saying about how there really is sort of a defined structure there, a career path for players who want to give it a go, with the youth tour, the development tour, the challenge tour. There are all these avenues filtering up towards playing on the main tour, and it's great that players are given so many opportunities from so many different avenues to try and progress in the game now.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing it pay dividends as well. I think there are, perhaps over the last couple of years in the Challenge Tour, there have been guys who've won their tour card and then haven't really made an impact on the professional tour, but certainly in the opening months of this year, The two guys who won their tour cards from the Challenge Tour, Rob Cross and Ryan Searle, make big impacts. Rob Cross won his first senior PDC title as Hendriks looks at treble 19. Doesn't get a go at the bullseye. It was another one where he would have had to move all the way left or right. And this is for Mark Walsh to go into the lead for the first time in the match. Double 10 he wants. Double 10 he gets. Mark Walsh, 2-0 down, 3-2 up.
Well, it took Walshy a little while to get going. He's put nearly 20 on his average in the last 3 legs.
85.
But can he roll back those years, as we said, the 52-year-old? And enjoy a little run out here in Germany this weekend.
139. $140.
Another ton 40, good solid leg this from Walshy.
$59.
Break of throw here. If Walshy were to win this leg, would put daylight between himself and Hendriks. And here we go. Can he fill it up?
140.
Well, certainly giving himself a realistic chance of making it 4 legs on the spin. When Jimi Hendriks played his first registered tournament, the Welsh Open, back in 2010, that was when Mark Walsh was in his pomp.
93. Mark, you require
made the final of the
82.
World Cricket Championship. Cricket, the darts game. 17 for tops. Bang in the middle of the 17.
Game
And in the corner of double top. And Mark Walsh,
7th leg,
another
Mark
break
to
of throw.
first.
4
Game on.
consecutive legs. And after Jimi Hendriks kind of strolled to the first 2 legs, this game has changed. And that is 2 12-darters. Mark Walsh is bossing this one now. And he doesn't look like he's going to let up at all.
Are we seeing the revival, the much awaited, much needed revival of Mark Walsh here? Early days, of course, in this tournament, but
60.
playing like this will give him every confidence.
Jeffrey de Graaf there, fellow Dutchman of Jimi Hendriks, out there presumably supporting Jimmy. He might be cheering on Walshy for all I know. If he is,
100.
he'll be a happy boy.
Yeah, Jeffrey in action this evening against the Englishman Rob Cross.
Yeah, and he'll have his hands full there because Rob Cross has been hugely impressive over the last year. And that is a bit more like it from Jimi Hendriks. His first maximum. Yeah, some fascinating ties on the way over the course of the opening day of the Happy Bet German Darts Open. That one among them. Martin Schindler, host nation qualifier against Paul Nicholson. Paul v. the Wall. Interesting to see how that one goes. Both guys winning their tour cards outright on the final day of Q School. Played some very good darts.
121.
Mark Walsh doesn't need to use the bullseye route here. He may just stay up there. Yeah, well, that was his plan.
59.
Not ideal, but he should get 1 dart for the leg minimum. And Hendriks, well, he's scrambling to apply some pressure. It's not really happening, is it? The leg he's hitting 180 in, but struggling to stick with Mark Walsh nevertheless.
87.
Good last dart.
Mark, you require 62.
Good last start, but is it in vain? Well, 6.56. Double top then to go to within 1 leg of victory.
42.
Pulls it.
Jimmy, you require 114.
Well, how important was that last dart in the treble 20 for Jimi Hendriks? Because it means he only needs 1 treble to get a dart for the leg. Won't get one if he fails to find a treble, and that is exactly what's happened. You see the grimace from Captain Jimmy.
62.
Who appears to be steering his ship
Mark, you
straight out of the Happy
require
Bet
20.
German Darts Open right now. Double 10. And there it is. 5 legs on the spin.
Walsh. 8 leg, Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
Well, both players hit 180s in that leg, but ended up getting a little bit scrappy towards the end, but Walsh it is who prevailed. And he'll just look to close this out, but
80.
good recovery on the treble 19 with that last start. $139.
Plenty of room in that treble bed for another one. Maybe he didn't feel they were securely lodged in there, or maybe he wanted to leave himself 67, because a level ton now will get him down to a finish. Well, level ton's not going to happen.
125.
That's a little bit better. Well, Walsh is secure in knowing he's got 2 more legs where he throws first, even if he loses this one.
142.
That just keeps him interested in it, though.
88.
No real damage done by Jimi Hendriks, rescuing it with the last dart, gives him 2 darts for the leg.
Seems to like using the 19s a lot, Jimi Hendriks.
137.
There's a great treble 19 there from Walshy.
54.
They have to go. 44 for the match from Mark Walsh if he returns to the board. That is high at tops for Hendriks.
Game shot.
And that one is bang in the middle of the bed.
Jimi Hendriks, 9th
So
leg.
he lives to fight another leg.
Game on.
Is it only going to be 1 more leg? Because Walsh is thrown for the match. Maybe a third 180 for Walshy.
140.
A great start to the leg nonetheless. How can Hendriks respond? He can respond very well.
140.
Like for like, ton 40s. And here comes Walshy again, filling up the red bit.
180.
Well, he knew this leg was coming, where he'd be throwing first and would be looking to close the match out and kicking off ton 40, ton 80. You don't get much better than that. Mark Walsh has already thrown a couple of 12-dart legs in this match. Hendriks is just about sticking in there with back-to-back ton 40s, but this is Walsh's to lose, and he can't stop hitting the 60.
99.
I thought maybe the bullseye of that last dart, that would get him below 80. But he'll probably look at the bull first dart with the next visit. And he took out 82 earlier on for a 12-darter to go 4-2 up. Takes out 82 here. For an 11 or 12, it's a 6-3 win. Yet another 6-3 win today. 17 for double top for Mark Walsh. He used to be in the top 10 in the world.
62.
He's played some very solid
Jimmy,
stuff today from 2-0 down, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer if he's going to close out this win.
And you sense this must go for Hendriks. He wants the bullseye to keep his hopes alive. And he hits the bullseye. What a way to do it.
Jimi Hendriks.
A 1-2-1 check out with victory in his sights, Mark Walsh. He may have to wait a bit longer, or are we going to see a revival from the young Dutchman?
Well, everything went according to plan for Mark Walsh there until the final dart. Missed double top for a 6-3 win. Hendriks has gone out in 12 himself with a 1-2-1 check out on the ball, and it's changed this game massively.
99.
Because Hendriks knows a holder throw here, we're in a deciding leg, and Mark Walsh, who his forays on the European tour have been infrequent and brief, largely. He just put some doubt in Walsh's mind, because this is about as well as I've seen Walshy play on the European tour for a number of years. It's been solid, if not
45.
Spectacular. And to be honest, those first 2 legs is what have dragged his average down to around the 90 mark.
Yeah.
The rest of it was pretty solid.
He was
start.
averaging sort of 66, 67 after the first couple of legs, and he's now sort of nudging sort of 93, 94.
Still has a chance of closing out here, Mark Walsh, and avoiding the stress of a 11th and deciding leg. Not seen any games go the full distance yet so far today at the Happy Bet German Darts Open.
60.
6-4 win for Christian Kist and 6-3 wins for Ratajski, Darren Webster and Warwick Shepper. Treble gets him to a finish. Doesn't get
60.
it. Still advantage Hendriks. The man with the dartboard for a face. Thought he was wiping away a tear, but I think it's just tension or an itch. We'll never know. There's more important things. That's a decent setup shot from Jimi Hendriks.
And we could be going to a decider, folks. The first of the afternoon on this opening afternoon of the German Darts Open.
96. Jimmy, you require 46.
Take your pick, Jimmy. Double 16.
Game
There it is. Jimi Hendriks,
the 11th.
having been
And
on the
final
brink,
leg is Mark the throw
has
first.
pulled this back
Game on.
to a level game at 5-all. However, he needs to break the throw, and having won the last 3 legs on the spin, does he have a bit of momentum? Maybe not. Maybe not. 4 180s for Mark Walsh.
180.
The old stager. He's been in these situations many times before. What a way to kick off the deciding leg with a ton 80.
47.
And a poor response from Jimi Hendriks.
And already
Is
he's
that
got
the
to
moment?
be be worried about surviving more match starts. He survived 1. How many more can he give to Mark Walsh?
60.
But Walsh unable to follow it up with anything spectacular himself, so he may have opened the door for Hendriks here, but again, good cover on the 19s.
84.
Well, Mark Walsh once again is on for a 12-dart leg. He's produced 2. He missed tops for a 3rd. And that would have closed out a 6-3 win. This, in the decider, gives him a chance because even the maximum from Jimi Hendriks doesn't get him to a finish. He's got 2 visits to see this off, Mark Walsh. He may only need the 1. He may only need the 1. Tops.
Game.
Mark Walsh, a trio of 12-dart legs, finishing it off with a 1-2-1 checkout. It was a 1-2-1 that saved Jimi Hendriks' skin earlier on in the game. But Mark Walsh, well, I never. He has averaged round about 95. That's as well as we've seen Walshy play for a number of years on a big stage. It is Mark Walsh who'll take on Mensur Suljovic in a battle of former dartitis sufferers. We've got 3 more spots of the second round up for grabs this afternoon, and we get to see one of the host nation qualifiers, Rene Burns, in action. A Euro Tour debut for him in a moment as he takes on the Hunter, Adam Hunt.
Den erfahrenen Mark Walsh. Zieht in die zweite Runde ein und trifft dort auf Mensur Suljovic. Mark, congratulations. That was a very strong last leg you played there, 12 darts.
It was nip and tuck all the way through that. Jerry's such a fantastic player. You can't take him for granted. I was in front and he was in front. It was one of those sort of games, but I'm just happy to win the game. I really am. Yeah.
It's good to see you back on the European tour. It's not easy. It's getting more and more difficult. These young lads are playing so well.
They're fantastic. The standard is unbelievable now. I've been in the wilderness for the last couple of years. I'm just trying to get my darts back to match all these young people's coming through. But hopefully I'm getting there.
Mensur Suljovic is next. He's good right now. He's a top 10 player.
He's a fantastic player. And if I don't bring me a game, he's going to beat me. But I'm going to try my hardest. That's all I can do.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Mark Walsh. Der Freund